So we have this unusual opportunity here. So naturally, even though I am the director, I want to make sure that we stay true to the designs. So Piat was inspired by something that used to be a much bigger deal in sci-fi, but has largely disappeared, and that is Counter Earth. The idea that there is another Earth on the other side of the solar system.
So yeah, you're into gore, huh?
No, I'm familiar with gore, but I'm not, as we say, into it.
Yeah, first of all, I think that's funny that, yes,
No.
you guys have deep enough lore to know that Gore is technically a Counter Earth. Uh, um, Gore being a long-standing pulp fantasy series, which is not related to what we're doing today.
It's fine because that's terribly written.
What I also think is funny is we are now, of course, tied into the Marvel Avengers franchise, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Infinity Gauntlet stones are from Counter Earth. If you're following the free comic books.
So what you're saying is you're giving us the power to destroy the galaxy. Wonderful. Can't wait.
I call Power Stone.
It also exists in Godzilla movies.
Yeah,
Some of the monsters come from the Counter Earth.
Really? I thought they all just came from underground.
Oh no, is it not Godzilla? Mecha Godzilla? It's King Ghidorah, isn't it? King Ghidorah comes from Counter Earth.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that. And King Ghidorah is my favorite. Well, he's like everybody's favorite. I'm also fond of Mothra. This may sound unscientific, but I think we should pray to Mothra for help.
Well, you're not a 2-inch small woman, so I don't believe you.
Well, no, you have to go ask. But that's one of my favorite memes.
There's enough things on fire. I'm willing to do that. I'll give it a shot.
I say we pray to Mothra.
Mondas was a Counter Earth as well. Sorry.
Right. So that's. I have a feeling it kind of. So it was very popular from the 30s to the 70s, and so Piat decided that, and he's presented several scenarios in the book. But the two big ones, the one that Piat devoted a lot of development time to, was I kind of want to call it the Phantom Menace, but we should call it the Phantom Creeps theory, which is the idea of alien invaders coming to Earth with a sort of inner gang criminal, where they would fund criminals to try and buy technology to subvert the Earth. Like foreign invaders, which was a popular plot line in the 30s and the 40s. There's even a long-standing serial called The Phantom Creeps. Piat, help me out. You're a super nerd. What's Leonard Nimoy's debut? Is his debut in The Phantom Creeps, or is it in the something else?
Zombies from the Stratosphere.
Okay,
which had a similar plot line, but they were reusing. I believe they were reusing a lot of props and actual footage, even from older serials, because that one's from the 50s, I think.
Yeah, a lot of these guys reuse stuff.
I mean, that also puts us into the DC Comics, because DC Comics Inner Gang is Apocalypse sells alien technology to the national gangs. Yeah, so
I mentioned
we're a crossover.
Yeah, well, because Kirby, who was a classicist, was jumping on that. So, but I think the scenario that you've elected to do is we're going to go ahead and do a future 1980s Space Patrol type thing, which is largely inspired by Space Patrol type stuff. So I've gone ahead and, that needs a little more development, which I've gone ahead and done in the past few weeks. And so you're all going to be members of the Space Patrol, which at this time period, the book isn't specific on how we want to use the Counter Earth. With the Counter Earth is currently controlled, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Piat, but is controlled by a thermionic intelligence.
The electric brain.
Yeah, that
or the thermionic brain, excuse me.
Yeah. Cold, unfeeling machine.
It rules the entire planet, destroying all individuality, which if you ever read 1930s sci-fi, the loss of all individuality is the worst thing that can possibly happen. machines that can't think or feel, and attempts to the Thermionic Empire is not to be negotiated with. Attempts to parlay with them have failed, and resistance is useless. So, as part of the space patrol, it's your job to not only keep the space lanes safe, but we also have to figure out what to do because the Thermionic Empire or Thermionic Brain has not yet launched an offensive, but we know they're out there and we know that they have agents. We also know that there is a Thermionic underground, Tellurian resistance that want to overthrow the control of their evil mechanical overlord.
Exactly.
So, at the start of this scenario, you are all agents of the Space Patrol, which is based on Earth. And so those are the two major spacefaring people, are the Earthlings. A long time ago, there used to be a civilization of Martians. But the Martians have since fallen into decadence and are on the way out. They still exist, and they still live on Mars. It's my understanding the Venusians have never developed space travel. Is that correct, Piat?
That is correct. I mean, at least in the canonical scripture, but if other
Yeah.
people out there want to,
Yeah, I remember reading it. They like to fly around, they like to cook, and most of their books are in fact cookbooks. To
Yeah.
everyone's disappointment.
cookbooks and limericks. Yeah, really elaborate limericks.
I can get behind that. You much better
Yeah.
have cookbooks, to serve man and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, so I've gone ahead and, in true pulp tradition, naturally, if there are Venusians and Martians, then of course there's breathable air on Mercury. Why would you even ask me this question? And we've gone ahead and added various different aliens, which of course we would want to get their help against the thermionic brain. We don't want them falling under their sway. And I think the thermionic brain basically just wants to conquer every planet, right? So they would basically either exterminate all the other races, or would they?
They want everybody to be secure and happy, and to have peace, order, and good government.
So basically, kill unhappy
Those
people.
monsters.
Basically,
Yeah, those
yes,
monsters.
If you're unhappy, you are a criminal.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Judge Dredd. Hey, wait a minute. All crimes are committed by the living. Therefore, if we make being alive a crime, we can solve everything. That's the premise of the Judge Death arc in Judge Dredd. I always thought that was hilarious. Wait, only living people commit crimes. There we
Oh
go.
god, it's real. Oh no, I thought it was just a joke.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and start you off as a space crew. And I think, if I remember correctly, Piat has wisely chosen to outrank all of you.
I have taken the authority trait. Whether
Right.
that means I actually outrank everybody, this isn't.
It means you actually outrank everyone because you actually have the authority to arrest people and to pursue crimes. Everyone else in the party is technically a deputy of you.
That's wonderful. Okay, and I'm
So
obviously
they're
the most
working for
capable.
you, and they can contain people, but technically you have to be the one who arrests people.
This is
So
true. And
congratulations.
thank you very much. And I'm sure that I feel like I'm like one of the detectives on 9-9 or something, going out to the street for the first time.
Yep.
Charles
So
or something, yeah.
congratulations. You are Captain Rondo
Oh.
Proteus.
Aha, Captain Proteus of Space
Okay.
Patrol.
Everyone else is an officer. So Rondo, Proteus, and all right. So let's get to the part of describing our characters. We're going to start with the highest ranking first. Rondo, Proteus, tell us what your character type, job, and species is.
Rondo is he's a mouse. He is a bureaucrat, and he's a very nervous sort. But he's very good at what his job is. What his job is traditionally has been doing like inspections, compliance reviews, checks, and things like that. He's basically in the like if we were talking about like World War II vets, and he was talking about his service, he'd like, yeah, I went overseas, and they'd say where, and he'd be like Staten Island.
Did you serve in the Atom Wars?
Pardon me?
Well, according to your history,
I served at the
1960s.
Atom Wars. Yeah, exactly. Like I went off planet. I went to the payroll department in the moon, and
Yep.
had some, all sorts of important things going on there.
So how? In fact, I wanted to ask you about this because I was reading the history. So there's been a series of atomic wars. What state should the Earth currently be in? Do you think it's they've stabilized and have nations, or should there be like vast radioactive ruins and that kind of stuff?
I think the Earth has stabilized. There's like probably going to be like forbidden zones, or like radiation zones or whatever, atomic zones where mutants and things are thriving and whatnot.
Yeah.
And actually,
In fact,
that was a character type in one of my first drafts. But
right.
I think that Earth cannot, like in the setting is written, Earth is sort of like arisen from the ashes, in like the 60s and 70s, and has created this new sort of global government that managed to found Space Patrol.
Right. And unrelated to modern current events, people, of course, on Earth are worried that a lot of the international tensions that were caused in the atomic war were seeded by Tellurian agents.
That is correct. Yes, and there's evidence. There's evidence indicating that the Tellurians are maybe behind some of those atomic wars. Yeah.
Right. Which is why the Space Patrol is considered to be necessary. I'm sure you will rule as an effective and forceful administrator.
I'm instituting a system of demerits right now. Yeah.
You're
Okay.
also going to institute a system of gold stars.
I could do gold stars. Yeah, we could do like that's more of a progressive management style. Right on.
Okay. And since Boris Blaskowitz is next in my handout list, Boris, describe your character for us, your type, job, species.
All right. Hey, everybody, I'm Griffin. I'm going to be playing Boris Blaskowitz, the fastest rocketeer beyond Mars. Not before Mars, though. There's a lot of competition there. I had to move out. He is a bear, daredevil star child with a carefree personality. His motto is to let nobody hold you back, and his only goal right now is to get some extra publicity. He is very much just a frontier man who makes a living being a performer. He's big, he draws attention, and he's actually not too bad behind the wheel of a ship.
Right. So I believe you're going to be the pilot then?
I think that's the general intention. I believe
The
Hugo
lead
was
pilot.
intending for like a co-pilot, but they'll
Yeah,
probably make
I
the
think
main of it.
I think Hugo's assistant pilot.
Mhm.
So okay, and showing their faith in Captain Proteus here, they've decided to dredge up some artifact from the past, toss a battery in it, and throw it at him because Dr. Quasar is also here.
Yes, I am Dr. Quasar, the mechanical Martian crackpot. There was an emergency in one of the Martian canals, and in their infinite wisdom, my former creators dragged me out of one of their many vaults to aid them in the defense of their home. And I turned out to be a living, thinking machine who decided not to go back.
In a previous episode. Yep.
Yes, my personality is hubristic. My motto is Eureka! I have a goal to prove them wrong.
Yep. You're an artifact of a better time, back when the Martians were able to create mechanical servants, great and grandiose, that maintained their great empire. Alas, how they have fallen from this, and you are a reminder of a previous age. And because of your heroism, they put you in the Space Patrol.
Because why not? Although I have decided to start with a flaw, I am emotionless.
A cold, unfeeling machine.
Right. So in game terms, a flaw is I can make you fail a roll because you were emotionless. Okay. And speaking of emotionless, I don't know why I'm so mean. So Arclight, tell us about Ralph Summers.
Yes, I'm Arkwood. I'm playing Ralph Summers, the high-strung raccoon egghead safecracker. His motto is, when the door closes, break a window, and his first goal is to break a window.
I love this game. Okay. Dr. Quasar is our mechanic, and Boris is our pilot. What is your primary role? Are you an enforcer? I guess you're an enforcer, aren't you?
Well, I have no ability to fight or shoot. I do have a very good transport die, just only one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very good at being a lookout and blowing things up. So
Oh,
I'm probably
right.
a demolitions guy.
You're the doors
Yeah.
man.
You're the infiltrator. That's right. Yeah, because in fact you're a previous career criminal who has decided to reform. So I'm just going to assume that as much as we love Captain Proteus here, that as much as he's like liked and appreciated by his peers, they've somehow decided to pawn off a lot of the weirdos onto his patrol.
You know, Ralph, all that's standing between us and becoming pirates is how much rope we have to tie up the mouse with. We're all out of that, though, so I guess we're Space Patrol today.
I'll just have to make some rope.
I think we could sacrifice a couple of fuel cords. No one will miss them.
When life gives you rope, make rope a name. Oh, this is I can see you guys are already getting into the mentality of this. So and I also asked you guys about naming your I believe the honor would fall to Captain Proteus to name the ship, but you will be given your own patrol ship so you can, patrol. So, what is the name of your ship?
You got a lot to choose from.
Jack Lemon. No. Sorry, what were some of these suggestions again? I
If you scroll up, you'll see like a lot of World War II bomber paintings.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one who actually suggested a name, which was Wrath of Goddard.
Well, I suggested instructions not included.
Right.
Also, Problem Child might be good. I'm amused by 20th Century Fox.
Guys aren't even trying to be period, are you?
We're named after a 20th Century Fox, just some guys. Dragon Wagon. Do we have any dragons on board? We don't.
No, the Saturnian looks absolutely adorable in the image that I've seen. So, I mean, I'm tempted, but I'm going to stick with the bear for now.
Yeah, the Saturnians, who don't live on the planet, they live in the ring. Because of course they would live in the ring. Why wouldn't they live in the ring?
Yeah, duh. But yeah, Problem Child sounds like a pretty good one, really.
I'm good with Problem Child if everybody else is good with Problem Child.
The Problem Child. That's what you're going to list on the on your logs. Today is our log Problem Child.
Just how many drinks did you have that day, Captain?
I didn't name it. It was assigned to me.
They know. They know too much.
X1138 just to get a requisition form to request a name change for a space class 1 Space Patrol Scout. So who has time for that? I prefer to think of it as the Space Patrol Scout 17/B.
17/B. Well then, nicknamed the Problem Child, probably because so it is a standard Space Patrol cruiser, which, as you remember, it has to have like the canopy in front with the big spear point on the front. And it's basically divided into 3 sections where you have the piloting, you have that middle section that looks like a B-17 bomber for some reason. Then you have the engine room, and I mean, how silly are we? We have to have a proper airlock. Do you want to have a proper airlock, or do you have one of those single door airlocks they have in Flash Gordon?
Let's go with the proper airlock.
I mean, I'm not bothered.
We can't be too silly now.
Okay. And so hopefully everyone has equipped your characters. We are in the future, which means you can use ray guns.
Oh, okay.
I haven't.
Pocket pistol would be a ray pistol then, or a ray gun pistol?
There's specifically a ray gun pistol in the book under
Yes.
Weapons of Astounding Science.
Right on, and they have the automizing effect.
The major disadvantage of ray guns are slightly better than pistols, but pistols are slightly more accurate because you can fire more bullets more quickly.
We could go over the details about how, like, firing a gun probably requires the presence of oxygen in most environments, but
Actually, it does not. We did research on this for our Myriad Song game. They do not. There is enough oxygen in bullet propellants that it will still shoot even in a vacuum.
Wonderful.
For Albedo, we actually figured out what your vector change would be if you emptied a submachine gun clip while in zero gravity, or
That's wonderful.
Yeah, in microgravity, the bullets fly a lot faster, and with no air resistance, they fly more accurately.
How many golf swings to change my orbit?
But we have chosen to give everybody ray guns, and they are pretty much the same ones in Myriad Song, where it's I mean, this'll this warms my heart, but I don't know if it warms anyone else's. That basically the ray gun itself couldn't be simpler. It's really just a polished alloy with a neutral gas in it that has been made into a cylinder that has had its heat and electrical conductivity removed. And then the mere act of pulling the trigger is actually physically exposing a radioactive element into this chamber while opening the shutter in the front to allow the energy to project forward at your targets.
No, I like that. It's a simpler weapon from.
Yeah, you know where I ripped it off from, right?
It's a ray gun, but it's basically just discharge plasma, which makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's also the exact description of the atomic rays from War of the Worlds.
Also lets you dodge it.
Well, in fact, one thing that's important to the setting is since we're going to go with a early 20th century, naturally the thing that the future is powered by atomics, and so whoever can control the most natural resources might be able to turn the tide. We're always worried that in a future where nuclear weapons exist, we're always somehow worried that someone's going to make an even bigger bomb and blow everyone up, because apparently that's, I mean, sure, we could blow everyone up, but could we really blow everyone up? So naturally, a lot of different resources, plus also spaceships require specialized metals to build them. Understanding how chemical processes and metals work is constant. And so you guys are going, because as your, Rondo Proteus here has been promoted, and now he's going to get his own space patrol after years of, what was your job again? Yeah.
Payroll, it sounded like.
Did you say anal? Yes. I was a
payroll.
Space bureaucrat, but I was an administrator. So I had some...
What made you decide to become a patrolman, to get some action in the field?
Because right now I'm like an assistant undersecretary. If I wish to become like the secretary of space affairs, I technically need some field experience. And like a kid who's been putting off getting his PE credit in high school until like the final year, I'm now like, finally swallowing my pride and going back to get my field experience. And I'm sure
maybe there's some mandatory field experience. Plus also, what did you picked authority as your type? Because there might be mandatory that after so many years of service, you're required to be a mentor and teach other people about your valuable experience. Somehow you got a captain commission, so congratulations on that. I guess when you fill out the paperwork yourself, you just captain check yes.
I do come. One of my possessions is a rubber stamp. So approved.
Approved. Is that what the rubber stamp says, or is it one of those dial-a stamps?
Dial-a stamp. Approved, denied. Wrong department, etc.
Can use it as an improvised weapon. You have lots of fighting skill, right? Well, congratulations. So you've gone ahead and been assigned to the Problem Child Patrol. I'm guessing the nickname of your ship is Problem Children because that's where they put some of the weirdos, like the career criminal, the bizarre. We can't figure out why they deputized an alien robot, and I'm not really sure what Blazkowicz's problem is.
So I'm sorry about the last 12 crashes, but this time it'll at least be more spectacular.
Okay, well, you probably crashed like a ship, and so Captain Proteus, they are going to send you on the most boring duty ever. So congratulations,
Or
you're going to Mercury.
okay, I like Mercury.
So Mercury is a planet Mercury is a planet of contrasts, the planet of fire and ice, where the temperature varies from 200 degrees below zero to thousands. Yet somehow there's still breathable air.
Scenic, get a tan.
Scenic. Mercury, the planet closest to the sun and one of the tinier ones. Mercury is also has two key problems. First of all, Mercury is the largest source of masrium, aka radium X. One of the one of the rarer elements that can be used in the production of spaceships. So it is of strategic importance. However, and so far, Mercury is controlled by the Earth Space Patrol. And as near as we can tell, the thermionic brain has not been able to get a beachhead there. Which brings us to the second problem. Mercury is inhabited by the Mercurians, a bizarre alien race that can not only tolerate the strange temperatures, but have evolved to be of a shapeless, dare I say, protean form. So they can blend in with the background and that sort of thing.
This is why they're sending me, because my last name is Proteus. Yeah.
Well, there's currently an issue going on because the Space Federation of Scientists are worried. The Bureau of Autochthonous Affairs, which is headed by many of the top scientists, is worried about exploiting the Mercurians. Where our goal as the Space Patrol is to keep people free. And one thing that people are worried about is displacing the Mercurians so you can build masrium mines or enslaving them. They were here first, and we don't want a repeat of certain things that have allegories. Because God forbid science fiction should be allegorical, right? Hello?
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just waiting.
You were agreeing, yes.
Okay.
Nonverbal gestures.
So there's going to be a bunch of scientists who, of course, the Bureau of the Bureau of Natural Resources. Now, there's another delegation that's arguing, no, we need to mine all the masrium that we can, not just for the war effort, but also the commercial industry. We got to think of the future. Exploit the limitless resources of Mercury, right?
Of course, no resources ever run out. Not ever.
So there is a political debate about to go on the planet. And so the agent of the Space Patrol is there to moderate between the Bureau of Autochthonous Affairs and the consortium, and the Mercury Mining Consortium, which want to argue about what to do next about mining the planet. And there are rumors that there, of course, might be Tellurian interference as well as other kinds of interference. So we're going to send you, Captain Proteus.
My crew stands ready.
Okay. So excellent. So where is the dialogue here?
Like any good captain, he speaks for us.
If I took my space bike and I did a flip over the consortium, do you think that would make it entertaining finally? Or are we going to be bored to death here, Captain?
Nobody's ever boring. No, okay, first of all, the first joy is because I'm getting a phone call. Pardon me, I have a message from Space Command.
Hang up your space phone, Captain. We're on duty.
You're supposed to kill all of your devices before we get on the air. He says, remembering that his cell phone is still on.
Gosh, I don't
Okay.
think my phone's been off silent for like weeks now. Jeez.
All right. So your intel report is you're given a dossier on Senator Tadej Badal, a Badger scientist, and he is the Space Patrol diplomat and head of the Bureau, assigned to the Committee of Autochthonous Affairs to moderate the debate. And Captain Proteus, your job is to make sure that nobody interferes with him. So you
Did you
will
get all that? Okay, he didn't get all that.
Make sure nobody interferes with the senator. Scientist.
Right. So you're all
Senator
going to get in a rocket ship and fly to Mercury. Before you fly to Mercury, are there any preparations you want to take?
Well, yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go around to each member of the crew, and starting with a robot, and with a clipboard, and I'm going to say, "Pardon me, Mister." What is the robot's name again? I have to go to that screen.
Quasar.
Dr.
Dr.
Quasar.
Corvus Quasar.
Dr. Quasar.
Dr. Quasar, just to, in the interest in full disclosure here, what are your preferred pronouns?
They, them.
They, them. Okay, I'll make a mark on that on the.
Do Martians have the concept of gender? How many genders do Martians have?
2, I believe.
Okay,
Thanks.
raise your hand. Well, you're the writer, dude. You tell me. How do you not know? What did I hire you for?
Oh,
Do you really think a Martian's going to tell you?
Yeah.
Well, brief sideline here. Okay, who's played FTL 2448? Right, show of hands. Who's played that? Okay, good.
Oh, wait.
So
No, I'm thinking of a different FTL, maybe.
Yeah, FTL 244, the best role-playing game ever, where they just write number of genders next to each one of the races. It's like 6 or 8, 12 or whatever. Never any explanation of what these are. They just have a number. So we're forgetting our chance to do that in this game. FTL 248, we should play that next.
Let's put it on the list.
Put it on the list. Okay, so there we go. And everyone else, I think, is going by he, him on this one.
Yep.
He
I
haws
also
more
accept
like
his
it.
awesomeness.
More like it. Okay, that's down. So if you don't want to take any unusual preparations, if you're a gadget guy, don't you start with a gadget?
Yep.
What did you choose to start with?
I chose to reinforce my handy outfit.
Okay. So in other words, not only do you show up wearing, a pair of gigantic Martian overalls with pockets filled with stuff, you also have a variety of bizarre steel plates attached to you at the same time, right?
Yes. Again, I was pulled out in an emergency situation. They thought I was an emergency tool.
Yeah. So basically, you've hired Iron Martian.
And I would like to requisition a handy outfit because I don't come with one as a safecracker for some reason.
Okay, you can do that. That's fine. Handy outfits aren't that expensive.
And I'd like to requisition an Astro outfit for this one because we're going to be on Mercury, where we cannot live.
Yeah. Now I did tweak it. Astro outfits have a 1d8, not 2d6. I went back to 1d8.
So we're gonna have to wait for 10 weeks for the astro bureaucracy to take care of that.
No, this is inspired. This is the good part of Starship Troopers, where the 1940s army, not the Catch-22 army. So, you guys can get that and then leave with that. Plus, also you have an expert bureaucrat on your side.
It's true. I'm very good at bargaining and whatnot. Yes.
They actually send me back negatives now instead of just ignoring me when I send in requisitions. It's amazing.
Okay. So let me check my notes here. You will fly to Mercury. Yes. You will fly to Mercury Station, where, your passage through space, while it is exciting pinnacle of 1930s special effects, where we figured out, wait a minute, if we film it upside down, people can't see the wires. Whoosh.
And the smoke from the firecracker looks like it's going up instead of down.
Yeah, and then later they figured out, wait, if we film from underneath, they can't see the wires at all. But yeah, so yeah, so you will fly and eventually get to Mercury. The planet itself, looks, at first people thought Mercury was uninhabited because, it's all flat and tiny. But then later they discovered the life forms that live there, of course, have super evolved in the harsh conditions that they can adapt to almost any need that they have to immediately. Right now, at present, the Mercurian planet is considered a reservation, for lack of a better word. And in fact, there is some debate. The consortium of scientists believe that the Mercurians should be admitted into the space patrol, into the Earth Alliance as a fully sovereign nation. But you and today, Badal here is supposed to preside over the vote. In fact, they may actually move to make the Mercurians give them autonomy, which means we would have to bargain with them on this position. So you will land on the planet at the spaceport, which has its nice shining domes. But you, let's see. Sorry, I made a typo here. Okay. But of course, you land at the spaceport and no one's there to meet you because you were there to meet other people. You will, see a bunch of other rocket ships and shuffle off. And you are on, nothing weird happens to you. Mercury is pretty dark. You land at night because the day side is, like I said, blazingly hot. And are escorted to administrative affairs, where you are met by a middle-aged foxwoman who introduces herself. She says, "Yes, I'm Dr. Beulah Hasselstoff. I am here representing the consortium of scientists. I'm glad I could meet with you, Captain Proteus."
It is a pleasure. I'm an experienced old space hand myself. I was on the moon in the Department of Motor Vehicles during the Atomic Wars. So this is probably my first rodeo.
She laughs jocularly. I can see that you are a man of experience and sophistication. So of course that you must understand, that you understand that it's important for all people in this world, and any other, to enjoy their freedom. And I'm sure you'll do everything you can to make sure that that everything comes out the best way possible, she says, clasping her hands around yours.
All right, I'm unsure what to make of this, being a small, pot-bellied, bespectacled mouse.
She's trying to manipulate you. What skill do you have useful in resisting being manipulated?
What skill? Let me see. One moment.
Questioning is a good skill because it allows you to see through people's facades. Presence is a skill, which I'm sure you have lots of, right?
I actually do not have a lot of presence or questioning. I have D6 and
Wouldn't you know it? There's a more impressive bear right behind you.
Negotiation is also good because that's, what's in it for me?
I have observation and I do have negotiation. So I am also nervous about going off, going away from whatever the process is.
Okay.
If I'm nervous as my personality trait, can I claim a D12?
Well, also, as I found reminding people, personalities are an after the fact. So you can roll and then decide if you want to tap it or not.
Okay. I think I would like to roll negotiation. It would be a mind or will in negotiation, or just negotiation?
It's going to be will in this case because she's making an emotional appeal.
All right. I'll give that a roll over in the channel here.
And you're not used to people talking to you on an emotional level.
So would that make you more nervous?
Well, like I said, you can roll, and if you don't like the way the roll came out, you could then throw in the personality, so you don't have to waste it.
Let's see,
Okay.
Captain. Put up a good impression.
Okay, you should. I thought you had negotiation dice. Have you? Are you having some trouble with roll 20 here?
Yeah. So what do I do? I'm going to the this
Okay,
little.
well, in roll 20 in the upper, you can either type or you can push the. If you push the roll button, is there one-touch die rolling in this game?
Yes, you can go over to the left, hover over the dice
Yep.
icon, and then there's a list of dice, and you can choose to say add modifiers or roll individual dice any number of times.
If it doesn't let you roll like a D10 and a D6, if I'm not mistaken.
The
Right?
way
You
I
will have to click like them multiple times, yes, but you could like arrange a larger macro if you wanted, or you could just like you were about to say, Raph, type it in and do like /roll 1dx plus 1dx plus a modifier.
Yeah, I would just like.
For this.
Okay, yeah, you just push the die and it rolls it for you. That's what I
Yeah.
like to do, but no one else likes to do that.
For this instance, I'm just gonna click on the D6 and click on the D8. So there's the D6.
Yep.
Oh, great. And there's the D8.
Yeah, see, that works for me. Okay. Well, the weird thing is, even though this is Dr. Hasselstoff, you're not here to visit Dr. Hasselstoff. You're here to visit Senator Badal. So her intercepting you and pretending, at first pretending to be the attaché, but then, deliberately trying to scoot conversation is improper. How do you and your crew react to this?
Well, I don't know about my crew, but I'm going to pull my hands back, not like, a little bit. Okay. I'm going to just pull my hands back and look a little bit haughty and say, well, I'm sure that we're going to be respecting the opinions and investigating the opinions of all factions involved in this. This can be due public consultation with all the interested stakeholders. However, we must follow the process, Doctor.
Ah! Spoken like an unfeeling bureaucrat. Well, she doesn't say that out loud, but she makes a face. And I'm sorry, what
I'm sure you understand.
No, I was gonna just like put my hand over like on our captain's shoulder and go, what he's saying is he doesn't have any ability to decide that. That's not our job. That's what the debate's for.
I'm sure if you listen to your hearts and step away from the cold apparatus of war that has ravaged all of our worlds, I've made my appeal. Here is my card. If you need, and I also. Oh, and here she says also like pushing a bunch of like a sheaf of papers in. Well, it would be in a folder with a sheaf of papers into Captain Perius's hands. As just please, here is my supplement to the Bureau of Scientific Affairs. Just please if you can get this to the center and get this introduced. I've done everything I can. She tries to give Captain Proteus the papers. Do you take them?
I don't know. Is this the proper protocol? Are these the channels for
this? Is highly improper. She should submit them with using forms of triplicate.
I will reach around the captain and take the papers instead and go, well, thanks for the papers. Well, if it gets too cold around here, I hear you can warm up with a drink if you want to get one later.
You are attempting to ingratiate yourself with Dr. Hasselstoff.
Exactly.
Well, are you negotiating, or are you trying to assert your presence, or what are you trying to do here?
I'm asserting my presence. I'm just being a big charming bear.
Why don't you make a roll of body and presence, as you are big and charming?
All right, let's go ahead and check out my presence. I just got the extra D6, and I don't think guts applies here, but I do have a fancy outfit, so I'm dressed up.
The fancy outfit does apply. I like the fact that you came dressed for a delegation. Everybody else is dressed in like. Meanwhile, you've got your crew back there going clank, clank, clank with their crowbars.
I only need the astro suit when we're not in atmosphere that we can breathe, But that is 2 successes. I look fancy.
I forgot to ask, what outfit is Captain Proteus wearing?
I'm wearing my dress uniform, of course.
So you're also fancy. Okay, so you two dress.
silver lame with my, my 5 years long service, 10 years long service, citations for bureaucratic bravery,
Okay.
that sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. So you guys came dressed for a delegation. That makes sense. Okay. Wow, that's 2 successes. Dr. Alzozov will blush extremely red. And say, well, I've probably taken up too much of your time. Maybe some other time. She appears to be unused to be having people talk to her in that manner. It's almost as if she's insulated in academia, where people are socially awkward.
Right, and we'll just have like the Boris just give like a playful wink at whenever she walks away, and that'll be enough.
Yeah. So
I want to do slash roll, by the way.
Eventually, a junior space patrol person will come forward and say, "Oh, there you are. You were supposed to come this way."
Yeah, we got ambushed. Don't worry about it. Lead the way.
Ambush. Draws a gun.
Are you here to take us to the senator?
Yes. I'm a page here to take you to the senator.
Very well. All right. I'm going. Did the doctor leave, or is she's still watching us?
She's leaving, unless you like physically restrain her or tail her or something.
No, but we have all the papers and stuff, right?
Yeah, I do.
Right
yeah, he took them. Okay. So yeah, you will be brought in front of. Hold on, let me check my notes here. Okay. Oops, type out something here. Just making a note that who took the papers. Okay, so yeah, you were introduced to 2 other Space Patrol people. This is Lieutenant Kortig, and this is Lieutenant Brown. A dog and a porcupine, respectively. Okay, and let's see. Yep, and they look at the photograph they have. They look at Captain Proteus and say, "Yep, story checks out." They check your ID. I assume you guys have like valid credentials.
They have to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The only one who might not pass the background check is Arcloid. Arcloid, do you have any flaws I need to know about? Or
Ex-con.
Ex-con. Yeah. So yeah. Madam Brown here is going to say, yeah, it's highly unusual for a detail like this to have someone like Mr. Summers here. We have plenty of people here, she says, who can handle the detail ourselves. So if you felt like you needed to dismiss 1 or 2 of your attaches, or felt they would be better served elsewhere, now would be the time, sir. She says, pointedly addressing Captain Proteus and not addressing Summers at all.
No, I don't think that is necessary. I think that I have faith in the wisdom of Central Command.
She looks skeptical at you.
If they see that there's some sort of potential within our friend here, regardless of his checkered past, then that's something I have to respect, because bureaucracy in the end does have a heart.
Yeah. She makes a terrible face. Do you well, I suppose you have outranked. I'll make a note here in the official record. Yeah. Which, is bureaucratese for, yeah, I'm going to make a note here.
As per my email. Yeah.
Oh, and wait a minute. Why did you bring your automated repair unit? She says, pointing at Dr. Quasar.
He's also a drink dispenser. Don't put him out like that.
Are you a certified mixologist?
I believe these are words used in jest, is the word?
I believe this would be cause for humor. Your Earth concept of jest.
Dr. Quasar provides an important outsider perspective one that may be lost with our own. He can see past the factions, having no emotional attachment to them.
Some sort of I'm not sure what sort of weird bureaucracy has decided to send your motley assortment here, but I have sworn to uphold the laws of the Space Patrol, and I will do so. Let me introduce you to Senator so he can know your faces. And
Meanwhile, we're walking, and I just kind of look over the captain and go, hey, no one complained about me. I feel pretty good now.
well, you showed up in a proper dress uniform and have no priors. It's not like you're an ex-con or a Martian.
Right, exactly.
Just because I'm a raccoon.
Well, and the crime.
I'm choosing to ignore that.
I mean, I don't know what sort of discrimination it would be for not wearing a dress uniform as a machine.
Well, you're just a little suspect of, like, we need bodyguards for the senator, and they send your whatever you are.
A giant made of metal. I mean, I feel I'm the appropriate response.
Yeah, but how do we know you're not a Tellurian spy?
You don't.
It could be like
exactly
three small Tellurians stacked inside you.
Yeah,
yes, but haven't you seen that trick before? They don't move properly.
Fair.
They wiggle in the middle.
Perfectly
How do
naturalistically.
we know what proper movement looks like? We've never seen a mechanical Martian before.
Well, I only have to judge myself against myself.
Yeah. And because we're live on the air, I can ask this embarrassing question. So, Piat, the Martians only have 2 legs, right? Because I don't think you specified if they were tripods or not.
They have 2 legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last chance to make them tripods.
You can make them tripods if you want to.
Probably not. Not at this late juncture. I'm
Okay,
not
so
really sure.
The War of the Worlds Martian tripods were actually just like they were just wearing like bodysuits basically. It was...
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well, you'll meet Senator today, Badal might as well just be like a carbon copy of Piat because he's an older, pot-bellied, career politician bureaucrat who will come out and glad hand all of you. He will even shake hands with the Martian.
I do this because it's expected of me.
Yes. Well, this is a gesture of goodwill. It is an Earth custom. I'm pleased that all of you could come here and protect me. I'm not really sure we need all of you because I think it's a show of a lack of faith, but it's been terrible here. There's already been some disruptions. I understand that the Mercury Mining Consortium reported there was some sabotage to some of their operations, but I can't ascertain whether it was foreign agents, mechanical failure, or what have you. Everything here is terrible.
What happened? Like what specifically happened?
One of the major Masrium drilling machines had a malfunction, but according to the report, there's nothing that implies that it was any sort of malefactors involved. It was a pretty big explosion. I'm really thinking that what it was is the Mercurians were storing Masrium improperly. For as you know, since Masrium is indeed a radio alloy. Radiogenic alloy. Storing too much of it can cause a critical reaction if it's not stored safely, and it can become volatile.
Have the Mercurians received proper job site training for this? Handling of, proper training for handling of hazardous materials, that sort of thing? Are they certified?
Currently, since the Mercurians are a protected species, they're currently not even employable at all. That's, in fact, another problem, is the fact that the Earth laborers that we have here are worried that if the Mercurians are elevated to full status, not only do they own the land, but they'll also be removing several Earth jobs.
Have they ever expressed any sort of disdain or negative feelings, or is this just all coming out of nowhere?
Well, that's part of the problem. In fact, maybe your friend here can offer, he says, gesturing towards the Martian, can offer a perspective on this issue because, well, the Mercurians don't express they only vocalize by imitating sounds that they hear, and they don't exactly have faces or bodies in the conventional sense. So they can't really.
That would complicate things.
Yeah, the way they express themselves is, up for debate. But we're been reviewing the terms here, and we're going to have several of the delegates. We're going to solve this problem the scientific way by voting in a democracy.
Just sort of out of character,
Yeah,
how do the Mercurians communicate with us?
Oh, well, they're if you saw the picture of them, they're blobs. They can imitate a larynx and then vocalize by expelling air.
But they only say things they've heard before. Is that what I heard?
Well, what the senator here is saying is like there's some arguments that since the Mercurians are protean form, that they're just imitating what they think we want to hear. But I will say that as both a senator and a man of science, that they are indeed a sophantic race that have feelings and can employ tools and that sort of thing. They are indeed people.
I mean, it would be a real failure of the initial diplomatic first contact team to have given them words that they could use against us.